Okay, so I want to talk about something that I'm fairly angry about. Now, I need to get something straight before I begin. I am very angry that rapes happen both to men and women, and I think they should be taken very seriously, and I think rapists are abhorrent people who should be punished accordingly. And luckily, we do live in a society where convicted rapists are treated how they should be treated and punished accordingly. And victims of this terrible crime are offered support on all fronts: psychological, physical, legal, financial, and emotional. Of course, there will always be unreported incidents and women who never get justice, but we are working to reduce these and working hard to help women come forward. There are commercials everywhere offering hotlines for victims, resources on campuses, and online it's basically impossible to miss. This goes for a lot more than just rape too. Whether it is facing homophobia, racism, or sexism, people overwhelmingly support the victim, which is fantastic. In fact, people are so quick to jump to support victims of bigotry, rape, and assault that people are beginning to take advantage of this by faking bigotry and assault to make money for their own selfish purposes and narratives. We are living in a society that supports alleged victims so much that you can make a job out of pretending to be one. And while our society is willing to dogpile support on these fake victims, it completely ignores very real victims. These people being the innocent who are accused of being bigots and perpetrators. They become real victims because we are so quick to support supposed victims' claims without evidence. These people are falsely accused of rape, pedophilia, racism, homophobia, and so on. These individuals lose their job, their respect in society, are slandered, abused, and sometimes go to prison for no crime at all. And in some cases, they kill themselves due to their lives being ruined by rumors. These innocent people have their lives destroyed and are given no support and no anonymity before conviction. They are the victims of fake victims looking to make a certain narrative or to abuse our society's response to these issues. Whether the falsely accused are a small minority or not, it is unacceptable that this happens to anyone. I am disgusted that we live in a world that I will watch the media and others gang up and burn an individual's life to the ground without any evidence and simply forget anything ever happened even after they are proven innocent. No apologies, no amendments. These falsely accused are just left beaten and bloodied by the media and society. And I really think we forget that these individuals that the media shames and ridicules without evidence are real people. Just to let it sink in, here are a few names of men who have had their lives ruined by false accusations. Jonathan Montgomery, accused of assaulting a young girl. He spent 4 years in prison, and his accuser admitted that she had invented the charges against him. Rupkishore Agrawal, falsely accused of rape, spent 2.5 months in jail, had his reputation damaged, and later committed suicide. The woman admitted they had only held hands. Ben Gurin, age 19, was arrested and accused of assaulting a girl and being a pedophile. The accusations were proven false by witness accounts and inaccuracies in the girl's story. His life was still torn apart by this. Luke Hardwood, age 19, falsely accused of rape by Alice Hall. The court dropped the case. Alice's sister Emma Hall and 4 of her friends then killed Luke Hardwood by beating and stamping on his head. The gang planned to return later to slice off his fingers and pull out his teeth so the body could not be identified. Caleb Warner, labeled a rapist by his university, was kicked out and took 19 months to clear him of all charges. The girl who accused him left the state and got off scot-free. Johnny O'Neill spent 13 years in prison, innocent. Brian Banks, 5 years in prison, 5 years on probation, sex offender status, innocent. These are just a few cases, and you can Google plenty more. The reason I am bringing this topic up is because I expect more of these cases to happen. Extremist feminists are changing the definition of rape, a very serious crime, simply to suit their needs and narrative. They are changing rape to mean if you regret it in the morning, that is rape. They're changing rape to mean if you don't know the guy's past, then it's rape. If he doesn't ask consent for every single action he does, if you're drunk, it's rape. And this is ridiculous, and it is abusing the power of a very serious accusation and is demeaning the experiences of people who have actually been raped. Let's just take a look at some of the quotes by radical feminists on this topic. All sex, even consensual sex between a married couple, is an act of violence perpetrated against a woman. Catherine McKinnon. I claim that rape exists anytime sexual intercourse occurs when it has not been initiated by the woman, out of her own genuine affection and desire. Robin Morgan. All men are rapists, and that's all they are. Marilyn French. These are just a few examples of insanity that we are seeing today, and it is being continued to be perpetuated in gender studies classes in universities, and it enrages me, not just for men's sake, but for real victims' sake who are having their experience trivialized and compared to consensual sex. These ridiculous uses of the word rape are what make me fear for future accusations against men and make me so slow to make judgment on alleged perpetrators. A perfect example of this dogpiling without evidence is the recent UVA case, where Rolling Stone wrote an article accusing some university boys of rape without due diligence, getting them suspended, and the story ended up being a total lie. This is unacceptable, and we need to be more critical of the media for doing this and expect consequences for people who publish this content and encourage false claims. These false claims not only ruin the lives of the accused, but make it so much harder for very real victims to be believed and to speak out. Whether it's fabricated racism, sexism, or homophobia, we need to treat false claims just as serious and life-destroying as they are, and punish people accordingly. We're not dealing with black and white situations in many cases, and we need to be sympathetic and supporting to the victims of these crimes, but be positive that we are not destroying the life of an innocent person without evidence. We need to be prepared to support all victims, not just the ones that fall into a certain narrative.